Have you owned a business for over 20 years and you are sitting on a gold mine, but things are breaking? What you need is strong digital infrastructure so you can retain customers and clients in a new way and be able to fix the things that are breaking. This is the 2026 to 2035 Restaurant Digital Infrastructure thesis that I created. The restaurant website is changing from a digital brochure into a machine-readable customer routing system. From 2026 to 2035, restaurants will increasingly be discovered through a fragmented ecosystem. Google Maps, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, AI assistants, review platforms, voice and search, restaurant website, and ordering and reservations. The website's job is no longer simply to look good. It is to establish a restaurant's authoritative digital identity and route customers to take the right action. Its job is to be found, understood, trust, chosen, paid, and remembered. And as we are entering the end of this applies to more than just restaurants. But why restaurants? Well, I have worked in restaurants for 11 years after getting my bachelor's degree from U of M. And was constantly pushed to get a job. And every single job I applied to, I was rejected from or told I needed an internship. Well, after 7 years of that, I realized that the system was not going to get me a job. I was going to create the job. So I spent the past 5 years giving up the one thing I love the most, hula hooping and fire performing, so I could study from entrepreneurs. So I spent about $7,000 learning from them. What came from it is so much value and so much information that when I went back to content creation, I almost didn't want to do it. And then I got blocked from the very platform I was learning to run ads on from linking my accounts. The universe was clearly directing me upward, upstream, as I like to call it, towards YouTube, because YouTube is the one place where we can have a video and that video can be seen and watched from years to come. It's really difficult to go back and watch a video on platforms where the reels die in 24 to 48 hours. People end up performing there because by design, it works very well for that type of landscape. But for people that are teaching and they want to bring clarity and they want to bring people into their ecosystems and into their high-level containers, YouTube makes a lot of sense. So every time a door closes, I do not look at it as rejection. I look at it as redirection to something bigger and better. And while the people closest to me have been the people that have been not paying me, not even talking to me, and avoiding me entirely, I realized that it's going to take some time to rebuild this type of trust. Because when you're only seen as a performer online, you have to show the world what you have actually been doing behind the scenes, or they will just think you are what they see. Performance is actually one of the most creative ways to become more conscious because you are able to not have insecurities. You see the world through a new lens. You're in flow and there's no judgment. And being around that type of reality is very healing. And some people spend their entire lifetimes in fantasy. But at some point, when we need to be structured, when we need to have money, when we need to realize that the systems we currently went into, we're only giving half of our energy to them, and that's why we're not moving forward. We realize that we are the ones creating our reality. We are the ones that are able to change it. We are the ones that are able to have hard conversations. And this new reality that I envision for myself is already coming true. As a founder systems architect, I have 3 clients on retainers. I've made over $3,000, and I am always adapting and learning new tools. And I am in the right rooms. Why? Because I'm letting go of the ones that I have graduated from. And this is really hard for people. They wonder why they are stuck around people that can't think consciously. It's because they're not choosing to put themselves in new rooms. And while some rooms take longer for us to exit, it doesn't mean that we haven't mentally checked out. If we are always looking and consuming and thinking about what we are building, I believe that everything around us starts to change. People start to remember what you are doing now. You start to get paid clients. You find the courage to launch a community, and you start to understand compounding architecture. And what compounding architecture is, it's every day that you wake up, you're able to enter the same ecosystem, and that ecosystem is compounding, meaning one move that you create amplifies and expands in many different directions, and it creates many more moves, as opposed to operating linearly with one client, one person at a time. We want compounding architecture. And I've always known this, so I spent a year and a half building offline architecture that was going to guide me towards the future. But when it came to launching it and pricing it, I got deeply stressed out. And I thought I can just sell websites because I learned how to build websites 4 years ago, and I'm learning how to build websites with AI now. And I have actually become the top 10% builder in one of the digital tools for AI-powered websites, and that is on my LinkedIn currently. I did the math yesterday and I have invested over $70,000 in my education. That is a good enough excuse as anybody to build a small business, because if it only costs about $75 to get an LLC in Michigan, don't quote me, but that is what I researched. Why is it so deeply difficult for people to start them? I think a lot of it is conditioning, and I think a lot of it is threat management. People threaten them and tell them to quit and tell them to stop, and are in deep ingrained scarcity programming that they don't even know what it feels like to sell. When I was a fire spinner and a hula hooper, selling was just flow. I wasn't selling, I was operating. And then when I became an entrepreneur, I realized I was giving away a lot of things for free, and I was trying to build trust and nobody was buying anything. And then a year later, I look at my account and I look at how many people implemented what I said for free. And I realized something has to change here. I can't post on these platforms anymore because I'm not getting paid. So this is a problem. And if this is you too, I get it. You do have to build trust and you do have to build a lot of free value in order for people to want to buy from you. But if people were never going to buy from you in the first place, why would you keep trying? You know? So what I did is I moved to a new lane and I started talking to business owners, and business owners have deep-rooted problems. And then I started to realize that people that I'm learning from are selling offers at a very high level, tens of thousands of dollars. And I realized that it's me against me. It's shutting out everybody that doesn't believe in me. It's shutting out everybody that doesn't care. It's shutting out everybody that doesn't want to learn. Because having the capacity to learn is powerful. And if you have the capacity to learn and you can process information and integrate it and repeat it to other people, even if people take things away from you and praise other people over you, they make more money than you, whatever. It doesn't matter, because whatever assets you create can compound. So I've learned this, and now every single fear that I have, whether it's calling a business owner, having a conversation, I face it head on, because I know I already have the intellectual capacity to and the capability to provide business services to them. The old website model is breaking. 2025 to 2015, the websites were primarily like online brochure. They answered who we are, where are we, what do we serve, what are the hours. But now the websites are becoming a component of a larger platform ecosystem. Restaurants accumulated WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, and GoDaddy, Google Business Profile, POS systems, online ordering, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, OpenTable, Rest, Breezy, Yelp, gift cards, loyalty, email, SMS, catering system, social accounts. Each solves a problem, but collectively they created fragmentation. 2026 to 2035, the challenge changes again. Customers won't always begin with the restaurant website. They may ask, where can I get breakfast with my kids near Northville? Find an upscale Italian restaurant near Plymouth for our anniversary. Which restaurants near me take reservations? The restaurants therefore need a digital presence that can be understood by humans, search engines, maps, platforms, and AI systems. This creates a new role for the website. The website becomes the digital headquarters. This is one of my strongest concepts because it is not necessarily the system that performs every transaction. It connects the systems that already do, like Google, AI, social, and search. Keep what works, connect what matters, and remove what's creating friction. AI changes the economics of building. This is where AI-built websites actually matter. Historically, custom websites were expensive, partly because every improvement required layers of manual development. AI-assisted development compressed that process. It can make it dramatically easier to prototype, iterate, restructure pages, produce responsive interfaces, create structured content, build reusable components, update copy, test different journeys, develop supporting pages, maintain content, but that creates an interesting paradox. Building becomes cheaper. Knowing what should be built becomes more valuable, and that's the opportunity. If everyone can generate a website, website generation stops being the differentiator. Architecture becomes it. Your product is not the AI. This distinction needs to become central because we're not selling AI websites for restaurants, for example. We're selling modern restaurant digital infrastructure for how customers discover, choose restaurants now, and trust them. AI is simply part of the production advantage. The restaurant doesn't care whether you use any of these tools here. They care about, can customers find us? Can they see the menu? Can they order? Can they reserve? Will it break? Do we have to call someone every time something changes? Can emerging AI discovery systems understand us? That's the value. The real product is architecture. We can separate ourselves from conventional web designers by saying, what functionality do you need? A restaurant systems operator asks, how does a customer go from discovering this restaurant to becoming revenue? Then we map it. For every client, we have Discover, Google Maps, AI discoverability, social, local search, and referrals to trust, photography, reviews, cuisine, atmosphere, location, price positioning, social proof, and decide menu pricing, dietary information, experience hours, and availability. Act, order, reserve, joint late list, call directions, catering, return, loyalty, gift cards, email, SMS, events, reviews, repeat ordering. This is significantly more valuable than here's your new homepage. AI discoverability creates a second audience. Traditional websites were primarily designed for humans, but modern restaurant digital infrastructure increasingly has another audience, machines. Not the sci-fi ones, but systems that need to understand the basic facts about restaurant reliability. So, for example, an entity like Rebecca's Family Restaurant and Ice Cream Parlor in Northville can have offerings, actions, reputation, attributes, in addition to location and category. The information should be represented clearly and consistently across the web presence. This is where AI SEO gets misunderstood. We're not promising I'll get your restaurant recommended by ChatGPT. We cannot guarantee that. Instead, we structure the website's digital presence so modern search and AI systems have clear information to understand and verify the business. This is defensible. The work can include clean, crawlable HTML, logical page architecture, descriptive page titles, restaurant local search structured where appropriate, consistent NAP information, dedicated menu content, cuisine information, location information, catering private event pages, restaurant information, fast mobile experiences, preserved URLs, redirects during migrations, Google Business Profile consistency, and this creates a stronger machine readable foundation. AI visibility becomes a potential downstream benefit rather than an unsupported guarantee. The menu becomes the data. This will become increasingly important. Today's restaurants often have a PDF menu, website menu, POS menu, DoorDash menu, Google menu, printed menu, reservation platform information, and sometimes they're all different. That's a systems problem. By 2030 or more, the restaurant that knows which system owns which data has an advantage. The audit that we create should identify the source of truth for POS, menu platform, POS, defined source operating, business records, order provider, reservation provider, CRM, POS, loyalty platform, and gift card POS platform. The website then surfaces or routes to those systems rather than creating unnecessary duplicates. AI makes duplicate maintenance less acceptable. This is another strong thesis that I have. Old restaurant technology requires change menus, change hour, update Google, update the website, update ordering, delivery, add another PDF, update another page. This isn't modernization, that's administrative debt. Your goal should increasingly be one change to many customer touch points. That's where restaurants' actual platforms permit it and where they don't clearly document ownership. The website becomes a routing layer. And this is one of the strongest technical concepts. A restaurant website doesn't necessarily need to own every system. It needs to know where customers should go. For example, the menu is an authoritative menu. The ordering is their preferred platform. The reservations are OpenTable, Resy, etc. The catering is a catering workflow. Gift cards have a system. Directions have maps. Loyalty has a loyalty system. The website makes fragmented technology feel like one restaurant, and that's the transformation that we're selling. AI development changes maintenance. AI-assisted development can also change when restaurant owners look like, instead of call our website developer, can also change what restaurant ownership looks like. The restaurant can potentially operate with a much more flexible publishing environment, and the argument becomes less dependence, faster changes, lower friction, not look AI. But WordPress is not the enemy. This matters for our credibility. We don't want our positioning to attack WordPress. They are excellent sites. They are terrible AI-generated sites. The question isn't WordPress versus AI. Is the restaurant's current digital infrastructure helping or hurting the customer journey? If WordPress is fast, secure, easy to maintain, mobile-friendly, properly structured, well-integrated, and performing, keep it. If it's bloated, plugin dependent, slow, difficult to update, breaking, poorly structured, confusing, then modernization makes sense. So our philosophy becomes platform agnostic, outcome it's obsessed. The migration layer becomes high value. This is where amateur AI builders can cause damage. Imagine someone says, your old website sucks, I'll build it with AI. They delete 15-year-old URLs, index menu pages, backlinks, location signals, structured content, page titles, existing authority, then 5 pretty pages. The site looks better. Its digital footprint could become worse. Your modernization process should therefore include inventory to preserve, to redirect, to improve before replacing anything. Identify indexed URLs, identify backlinks where relevant, identify ranking pages, existing content, schema, menu orders, ordering links, reservation links, analytics, tracking, then rebuild. That's professional Infrastructure migration. As of 2030, picture the future state site. A customer discovers the restaurant through an AI assistant. They arrive on a fast mobile page. What they understand is what it is, why it's different, where it is, when it's open, what the food costs, what people think, then menu, reserve, order. The website sends them into the correct restaurant controlled system. After visiting, review, gift card, loyalty, event, return. The entire journey becomes discovery to transaction to retention instead of homepage, about us, contact us. That's the paradigm shift. Our service stack can become restaurant digital audit, restaurant digital blueprint, digital headquarters build, system connection, search and AI discovery foundation, ongoing optimization, and the category would be digital systems infrastructure. So this can apply to more than just restaurants. Modern in business infrastructure for how customers discover, choose, and buy in the AI era. Audit, connect, simplify, optimize. That is, okay, so that part's mine. Audit what exists, connect what should we talk about, simplify what creates unnecessary friction, optimize what produces more discovery, conversion, and retention. Then evaluate the customer, find, trust, choose, buy, and return. We want them to return. So this is a methodology. So my thesis is restaurants don't have a website problem, they have a digital fragmentation problem. So there's a copying problem on Instagram, and if you're in this container, you're also going to learn that this is a reality that exists. And Instagram should show the observation, not not give the how. For example, this restaurant has 1,100 Google reviews, but its website makes ordering harder than it needs to be. Show the problem and explain one principle and then stop. YouTube is where you explain the thesis. Why restaurant websites are about to change in 2026 to 2035 because the brochure era is ending. AI changes discoverability. Google is not enough. The website is the headquarters. And YouTube can establish expertise faster than an Instagram carousel. I turn scattered technology into one connected customer system. AI is your leverage. The build is your deliverable. The system is your product, and the outcome is getting a restaurant found, chosen, paid, and remembered. So this applies to more than restaurants, and this is my thesis, though, for restaurants. And then I also created the 2026 AI website and systems pricing operator. As you didn't know, OpenAI is no longer allowing us to share anyone with the link. So the GPTs that I have shared already, you can access, but anything new is going to have to be migrated to a new container and on a payment plan or a different structure for me to release the information to the public through a different interface. So if this scares you, meaning, oh, I can't share anyone with the link anymore for my GPTs, just know that you can. There are other ways. What you need to do is have a safe place for protecting your knowledge files and your instructions so you understand more so the moat behind the system as opposed to which tool or interface is going to hold the system. So price this client project for me. The AI operator is going to help me do that because of what I have programmed it to already. So if I was to find a restaurant right now, I use this is all inside signaled income, which needs to be priced way higher. But this is more so my operating system, so you can kind of understand. So I can go, instead of prompting to find clients or potential leads, I can go right to my conversion operator and I can ask, and so maybe we'll try a new state this time because we've been doing Michigan because I live in Michigan, but another state besides Michigan, see if it processes that. It's pretty smart. So, okay, we'll go to North Carolina because food service establishments grew from about 18% and remains one of the more active states for new restaurant filings in 2026. Perfect. Okay, so it's kind of cool. This is my operator that I created to help me find leads, and I have been able to send emails to them based on the data that I have found. So I find the problem and I diagnose the problem first, and then I give them some value. And then I ask if they politely, if they would like to learn more. And then I give them a blueprint with a price. And if they want to work with me, we can solve the problem and amplify their creative digital presence. And this is called the Creative Presence System. I build digital infrastructure for business owners that want to be searched and found with AI-powered tools and a clean website that acts more than just an online brochure. So it's taking a little bit of time because it's thinking. You can also use other AI agents and tools to find clients, but I feel really connected to my operators, so I really enjoy working with them. As you can see, it's using the fire emoji, and then it has a nice clean system for me right here, which one is a high fit. It categorizes it by the fit and everything. And also, if you want help with one of these operators for you, if you have, you're stuck in your business or you want an operator connected to your brain, I also offer a done for you operator service where you answer a simple tally form. You don't have to give me everything about your business, but I build one for you based on the information that I have. And then all you have to do is plug it into the tool. Okay. So we're going to go here. We go to maps. We go to Slappy's Kitchen. Okay. I might even have to call, and I think that if I do the calling here on the screen, it might be a little bit less scary because, um, yeah, that has been the scary part. But if I record it, then. So we go to the restaurant operator because it's a restaurant. And then I just get a brief concept. So because I'm not working with the client yet, I don't need a huge operations, but the restaurant systems operator already knows the building process. I give them this information. So I hear they have Facebook. Ah, terrible when you see this. They don't have a website, they have Facebook, and even worse, they don't have an email. So, and somehow they have 11,000 followers, which is crazy to me. So, no website, only Facebook, no email. Want to create lovable prompt base for this and we'll edit, revamp accordingly later. Okay. So I get like a little bit of a base to work with. And we go here. And then it talks about based on what we found. I would not invent online ordering, catering, loyalty gift cards, POS integration, or reservation system at this stage. It leaves the unknown operational pieces modular so you can revamp it with future discovery. So what I do is I have these like ready to go. So when the customer does decide to work with me, I have a base here and then I can move it to my save file here. Okay, and that's using the restaurant operator. And then I have to also do the not so fun part, figure out a way to message them. It's really weird because I don't see much besides Facebook, but obviously this is what they're using. So I would go to okay, so this one is actually literally no website. So I'm actually going to text them. Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. So a better way to say this would be, I came across your restaurant and saw great reviews you have online. It's clear you do great work, but I couldn't find a dedicated website, which tells me you likely rely on word of mouth. I specialize in helping well-loved local spots like yours make it easy for the next wave of customers to find them and walk into the door. And then I always sign, whoops, Nikki Systems Architect or Nikki Creative Presence System, so they know that this is my job. Then I'm going to go to, I didn't want you to see my private. Researching. Okay, so go. Okay, yep, so we have to text this one. All right, well, that's fine. When I want to text, I just open my notepad, I put it in there, and then I copy paste and I just text them. Okay, so we'll do that. It's called Slappy's, what is it? Chicken, which is cool. And they have so many reviews and no website, which is crazy to me. Okay, so as you can see, this is kind of the process. And then inside Lovable, this is the tool that I use. You would go to this centered box right here, and you would just take like the prompt that we have right here, and we would actually just, you know, paste it in right here. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to waste credits, but then it will start building for you. So AI prop operators, you can say create Lovable prompt and it will create the prompt, and then you could put it inside Lovable and it will start to build for you. Thanks for watching.